Welcome to Pink Couch Conversations with Carmalita. Where do we start? My name is Carmalita. Last names don't matter because mine's been changed a few times. This pink couch here is the literal representation of my highest manifestation. And that's a lot of pressure to put on a couch, but she's pretty sturdy. She could handle it. Was that weird? Probably so. I gave up being a nanny last summer because it was my crutch.
I don't want to do this shit anymore. Like, I feel like I'm in the fucking trap, all right? Don't do anything that doesn't make you happy.
And while I made good money as a nanny and I was able to travel and, do something I loved, it wasn't my passion. It was something that was supposed to get me through, right?
This is a temporary means to make some money. I want to say this is going to be my very last time watching somebody's child.
I always thought I was gonna come back to LA, but I didn't. I drove across the country, and then on my way back to LA, I stopped in Houston to visit one of my friends, and I never left. And that's wild to me because when I moved to Los Angeles at maybe 22 or 23, I just thought it was gonna be my forever home. I moved to LA because that's where my big brother was, and it's where I had always planned to go. He hopped in his car at 19 and said, forget college, peace out, I'm going to LA to pursue my dreams, and he did. And so I'm thinking like, I can do the same thing too, but this shit is hard, Like I forgot how much I just want to be hugged sometimes, and that's difficult. Or, not being a drive away from my brother is really hard for me. I moved to Los Angeles for my brother, And so I always thought anywhere he was home. And so now that he isn't in Texas, I'm kind of like always homesick for anywhere my big brother isn't. And so that's really hard for me. Thank God for FaceTime and phone calls and, being able to keep in contact all day long, because it definitely helps. But I honestly didn't think I had it in me. I've lived with people my entire life. I grew up in a house full of 7 people. I had roommates in college. I got married directly after college and had a forever roommate, for 5 years. So I didn't know that I was capable of functioning as an adult by myself. It's not something that I thought I wouldn't be able to do, but it's not something I ever had to do. After I left my husband, I was a live-in nanny, and then I had some really awesome friends who let me ride their couches until I figured out what the hell I was gonna do with my life. And so I've been in my own place for a couple months now, and it's also been my first time alone in the midst of an entire world shut down. The last couple of weeks have been really hard for me. I used to struggle with anxiety a lot. I was a very high functioning person who had depression and anxiety, and I had a lot of unhealthy behavioral patterns or coping mechanisms that I used to kind of get me through. So with years of therapy and a really amazing support group, I've been able to be a pretty kick-ass functioning adult. But because of my experience with depression and anxiety, when I feel myself kind of falling back into the place that I used to be, it kind of worries me, Most people, when they see me, they see this. I have a resting, friendly face and these big bright teeth and big eyes, and people just assume I'm this happy person all the time. And generally my home frequency is that of a more chipper, person. But I also kind of hid behind the look for most of my life, the look of a happy person. When I see myself falling back into a place that I am so familiar with, that is dark and sad and heavy, I slow down and I acknowledge my fears and my worries, and I talk to them. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself like you're a kindergarten teacher. Sometimes I do need that. I need to be as patient with me as I would with a child. I was a nanny for 5 years, and never once when a child, did something was I like so irate with them and just talk down to them. I have no idea where we are with COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever. But in the mix of it, there's so much unknowing that is going on, and it causes so much anxiety. So I had to talk to myself like I was a kid. Carmalita, what do you need? How can you go slow? How can you be patient with yourself? I found myself doing that, and I kind of felt like I was going so slow that I was kind of moving in reverse. Thankfully, I am seen as an essential employee, and so I go into the office every day. So that is like a catch-22 where it's a little bit of a saving grace because I'm not in my apartment every day alone. And then it's also very anxiety inducing because I have to be out in the world every day, and that's scary. In the last 3 weeks, I have just been super patient with myself, and I haven't put so much emphasis on, working out or reading, just different things that I generally like to keep up with. I felt myself just holding on to so much in my body that I would just be exhausted by the end of the day. So I didn't have the mental capacity to read something even. I could not focus on reading a chapter or reading a page, or I didn't have the physical energy to work out. And so I just kept being very patient with myself. Here are some ways I have taken care of myself during COVID-19. I'm a crier, so I guess one of the things I allow myself to do during COVID-19 is I give myself the freedom to just feel whatever I'm feeling. I cry, and I'm okay with that. I cook my favorite thing, I have my favorite snack, and I don't worry about the calories or the fried grease I'm frying it in. I eat what makes me feel good. And sometimes that's fried chicken, and other times it's beans and rice and fruits and vegetables, or salad for a week. I just listen to my body. I did my hair. I was I have felt like a river troll, which is a term my brother coined when I was a kid. But I felt like a river troll on the inside. And even though my wash and goes were super bomb leading up to me putting a sew-in in, which generally never happens for me. If I slap some hair onto my head, it's because I wash and go and know. My hair would have been in a nappy bun for weeks and weeks or whatever. But this time, this Houston weather has been very generous with my curls. But I was I'm gonna do something to make me feel, better. And adding hair makes me feel vivacious and beautiful and all the things, even more so. But it was one of the self-care things that I did to put a little more focus on what I could control. I can't control my health right now. I can try. I can wash my hands a million times. I listen to, podcasts. I started binging The Office after work because it was just something light and silly. So I watch things that, make me laugh or smile or feel good. I talk to people who make me happy. I'm very open with my friends and my brother about the way that I'm feeling, because one thing about anxiety and depression is it feels very individual, and it feels like no one else has experienced what you're experiencing. But the thing is, so many people actually are experiencing it right now. And so I reach out to my friends and I ask for help, or I reach out to my brother and I tell them this is what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling sorrowful, or I just feel heavy, or I'm just having feelings. I need to cry. And so I do that. When you're doing this though, I would implore you to check on your friends and family before unloading your stuff onto them, because everyone's going through a difficult time right now. So if you just call somebody up and just throw your crap at them, even outside of COVID-19, I work for a domestic violence and rape center. And so every day is kind of heavy, you know, like even if I'm not directly dealing with clients, the material that I'm reading or just like, it's heavy work. And while I carry it well, I do not appreciate when people don't check up on me before unloading their things onto me. Sometimes I can handle it. Sometimes it's nothing. Other times I'm exhausted and I'm overwhelmed, and it'd just be nice if someone was like, hey, how are you doing? Do you have space for this? I check up on my friends because that also makes me feel good to be able to have that connection and to be a space for people. I want to be a safe space for people. When I have the space to be that, I want to also extend that to my loved ones. Combating anxiety for me is, and I'll say it a million times, is just taking it slow. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking it so slow that I'm moving in reverse, and I just let it be that. Sometimes you just have to let things be what they are. Just be very patient with yourself. If you live alone, reach out. If you live with a spouse or significant other or a roommate, check on each other and also take your time for yourself, because it's difficult to share space with someone, especially now. How else do I take care of myself? I listen to my body, and I'm working on listening to my heart. I'm also navigating dating around COVID-19, and so that's kind of difficult. If I feel like I need attention from men or whomever, I seek it and I try to make the interactions healthy. I drink lots of water because that's important. Sleep. Can't believe I didn't think of that sooner. I sleep a lot, or at least I try to. And before I had a full-time job, I would nap whenever, and now I don't have that luxury, so I nap during my lunch break. If you're able to take a nap, I would suggest you do that. Rest and rest often. I would say do not feel compelled to create and to work and to do, because that will drive you mad. I just want to encourage you guys to do the things that make you happy. Do the things that are good for you, good for your heart, good for your mind and your body. Take it slow. Watch all the things. Don't feel compelled to create or to produce or to do anything. Like, it's okay to rest if you can. I don't know what our new normal is gonna look like, but I do think that on a large scale, we need rest. I'm gonna advocate for that. I'm kind of sad right now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit trying to hold back tears. I don't wanna be that girl, you know, crying on video, but I'm in a good place right now, while also at the same time being highly anxious, and that's okay. I am in a very unique position, and I'm very grateful to be where I am in my life right now, because I came to Texas to visit a friend, and I stayed because I literally got my dream job, and that dream job, I wasn't aware I'd ever want to be considered an essential employee, but holy shit, here I am. So if you feel seen in any of this, let me know. I am a tethered wanderer at the moment, and I'm all for radical self-expression and self-care. Join me on my journey of my stuff. I just want to, you know, extend my safe space to all of you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Tell your friends. I'd say tell your grandma, but I curse a lot, so hell, she probably does too.